Hey guys, Romie here. So this is the recap for Marriage Boot Camp, Reality Star Season 5, Episode 4. In my last recap I said it was Season 7. No, it's Season 5. Memphitz the fan. Now, the episode starts off with, of course, Cody and Michelle. They're speaking with each other and they're trying to come to some type of agreement. Right now, they have this issue of they have to work on themselves instead of working on each other, well, working with each other as a unit. Because, as we know, Cody, being himself, went and blabbed the fact that Michelle has actually cheated on her ex-husband. Of course, her daughter didn't know that, so that's why she was really upset about it. So they're agreeing to, go through the process, but separately. And we know Cody doesn't want that. We know Cody isn't interested in that. But we get past that because that wasn't that interesting. What was the foolery that was going on in the kitchen. So everyone is in the kitchen except for them. And you have Memphitz and Toya first go at it. And Memphitz and Toya, because Memphitz' whole idea is he basically wants to be the same person he was before he was with Toya, before he became a married man. And his issue is Toya doesn't accept him for him. And accepting him for him means accepting him as a single man who technically has a ring on. That's essentially what he's trying to convey. Toya, of course, isn't having that because it's like, so what's the point of us being married if you're just going to go out and cheat? Now, here's the difference between Memphitz and Lorenzo. Memphitz actually admits the fact that he cheated. Now, he's admitting it, I'm assuming, more than he's ever had before, where he's just putting it all out there now. So that's why Toya's like, so what's the point of us doing this? What's the point of doing that? Because part of the issue is Memphitz is bored with their sex life, and Toya, she's not comfortable with doing certain things that he wants to do. And his whole thing is he's used to, being with people who are really open sexually and doing whatever he wants, or just doing a lot more than what he's currently doing. So that's why he's just like, to him, it's an open invitation to go out and get it. And then also he doesn't feel respected or loved in his relationship. Now that part is it's a lot different. But again, he's reaching his breaking point. So he's getting irate and he's yelling and people are just looking at him like, what is going on? Because it's like, why are all the black people, why are all the black people going off on this episode? All the black people, they're going off. And it's not just, they thought Cody was bad. No. When you compare the arguments that British and Lorenzo had and Memphitz and Toya had, that eclipses anything that Cody has ever done. Even Michelle is just like, yeah, I'm kind of happy to have what I currently have right now, or had what I had, because if I had to deal with that, no, there's no way. Because Lorenzo, trying to borderline stick up for Memphitz was just like, yo, well, the whole thing is, if I'm not getting it at home, or if I'm not bringing it into the house, then what's the problem with me going out and seeking someone else outside the relationship? That's what he basically said. And we know British. It doesn't take much for British to go off. So the fact that he actually said that, I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, what is he? He's really want his death with. Why? So British goes from, okay, so what did you do? Because Lorenzo's the type to go and laugh and avoid telling the truth or the whole truth. So that's why British gets upset. She is so pissed because he's just doing whatever he's doing, coming home, pretending like he doesn't do anything at all. And that's not fair. So that's why she starts to go and throw things. That's why she starts to hit him. That's why Lorenzo has those bags under his eyes. So I was like, wait a minute, Lorenzo, you're like a couple years older than me. So what is really going on for you not to be getting much sleep? And now I understand why. It is still partially your fault, but British needs to handle her anger a different way, even though you need to stop being so dismissive and almost looking carefree with how you feel and your emotions. You have Tara and Dean. Their whole persona is, compared to these lot who are crazy, who have this negative energy, I'm cool. I am absolutely cool with what's going on in the relationship. And this is where Jim and Elizabeth have to go and say, stop. This is unacceptable. You guys cannot be getting physical. Can't be just flat out disrespecting each other when you have arguments. This whole episode is about showing them how to have an argument and it being effective and not just putting other people down. So the first exercise was role playing. They had to role play and act as each other. So of course they start off with Lorenzo and they start off with British. British pretended to be Lorenzo, and Lorenzo's usual mantra is to act goofy and be dismissive and pretend like what's really the issue. It's like, I said something, why are you getting mad at me for it? British's motto is, you gotta tell me what I want to know, or else I'm gonna throw something. And he takes the pillows and he starts throwing it. British isn't having that, so she starts throwing it back, and that's when Jim and Elizabeth are like, wait a minute. This is not what we want. This is not effective. You see what you two are doing right here? No. It was like, as I just said, Lorenzo, do you see what you're doing wrong? Yeah, I'm basically acting like a clown or acting like everything's a joke. British is becoming irate and wanting to go and get physical instead of trying to figure out how she can go and convey her feelings another way and it being effective. The next group that we have, again, continuing on with the BS, Toya versus Memphitz. Now, the thing with these two is that Toya is the type to be like, y'all, I don't understand what's going on here. I really don't understand. Like, why are you look, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. You acting like this. What do you even do? What's really going on? And then you have Memphitz. It's just like, look, if you're not going to do what I want you to do, then I'm going to go elsewhere. That's essentially his mantra. And again, they both got it. Tara and Dean, I don't know why I honestly feel like they were half-assing this entire episode. And it was entertaining because they did break up the monotony. I don't know if they put it on a little extra just to go and try to lift everyone's spirits. I feel like they did, and Jim and Elizabeth kind of caught it and figured, you know what, we'll let them pass because they're still speaking their truth, even if they were acting a little bit extra. And because Tara was pretending like Dean was just like, look, what are we going to do? What are we gonna, what's the problem? No, I don't care. And Tara's just like, look, why are you not listening to me? It's just like, all right, whatever. And long story short, they didn't really focus on Dean again. All the attention is still on Tara, where it's just like she avoids her problems. She runs away from her issues. And the next we have is Adam and Lisa. Adam is about, what is wrong with you? You left the house and, you came back home and the car is almost empty. The car is almost empty. Why didn't you make sure to fill up gas? What happens if this happens? What happens if it's the end of the world? And you have Adam acting like Lisa, and it's just like, again, her being dismissive and not taking what he's saying seriously or to heart, and her having to deal with him it's really just his issues of she's not being as supportive to his particular needs, and he is irrational, so it's going to be hard for him to be supportive, period. Let's just be real. Finally, we have Cody and Michelle. Now, it was the same old thing with Cody and Michelle of, you said this, you did that. I just wanted to, no, listen to me. I just don't understand. Of course, this is Cody now. It's like, what? But you're gonna go and do this? Well, no, you can't leave me. You can't leave me. No, this is what's not gonna happen. I was like, Lord Jesus, I cannot. They're doing way too much. And it's funny, the guys ostracize themselves and the girls separate themselves. And they're just talking about how the men disrespecting them, and it's like, how do they not think cheating is such a big deal, or the fact that Cody is super emotional, or, the guys are just like, the women are always on their case and they never let up. The next exercise is they're by the pool, and they're at the pool and they have to play tug of war with their partner. The issue with this is that the goal was so that they compromised, so that they didn't go and try to pull each other into the water. Instead, you go and try to work it out. None of them did that. Tara decided, you know what, because Dean's gonna win, she jumped in the water. She gave up. She avoided the issue. You have Memphitz, who kind of stringed Toya along and decided, you know what, I'm just gonna... He kept pulling her close to the edge, and then when he was done playing with her, he just yanked her right into the water. After that, so it was just like, he's playing games. He's playing games, and he's, again, that controlling issue. He's trying to be as controlling as he can as possible. And we have Lisa, who was like, she is so frustrated that she did everything she possibly could to make sure that Adam fell into that water. Lorenzo and British. British wasn't going to win. So British decided to enlist the help of Dean, because Dean was like, he was willing to help push Lorenzo into the water. And it worked. And so after that, and the issue with that was Lorenzo's always cheating. So Jim and Elizabeth were saying, why did you go and stoop down to his level of cheating? And so she was like, oh, didn't think of that. Did not think of that. And I didn't think of that either. I was like, huh, that is true. Oh yeah, and when it came to Cody and Michelle, Cody just decided to give up. And again, that's how their relationship is. They go, they fight, they argue, and one person decides to give in. So there's never any real resolution. They don't really work out their issues. This is one person just throws in the towel. It's like, screw it. Forget it. Nah, too much. Nah, no. And so we get past that, and right now everyone's reaching their breaking point. But you know who finally breaks? Memphitz. Memphitz is like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this, because they're British and Toya are talking, and they're just trying to figure out, so why do you guys cheat? And so they're talking to Memphitz, and Memphitz is just like, look, I do what I do because I wanted to be the person that I was when I originally came into the relationship. Now, that didn't happen because, of course, I got married. But it was like I completely lost myself, or I'm losing myself in this relationship. So I'm like, okay, he's saying some real stuff. The issue is he's acting a damn fool, even though he's saying some real stuff. And because of that, he is not going to prosper. Instead, he's going to go and hurt his wife. He's going to embarrass himself. So he gets very irate. And she was just like, okay, stop, hold on. This is Toya at this point. This is like, stop telling me what to do. And I'm telling you to shut the bleep up. That's what you're going to do. Bleep, 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 bleep. And then he goes, he takes a plate. He throws this. It's like, I'm like, stop. All right. You got, what is it, like Lorenzo or Cody on each side of you? Someone get him, because he's getting really mad. None of us thought that he was going to hit her, and he didn't. But apparently this is only the second time that he's ever, gotten this mad and reacted the way that he did. But once is enough, because British was just like, Lorenzo, you already know. If you ever played that type of shenanigans with me, forget it being over, you'll be dead. And I believe that, because British looks like she hits harder than some men. She looks like she doesn't play. And Tara and Dean are at the point where, the stress is just getting to them. They have that whole LA vibe. So they just can't understand how people can act that way. Cody's like, I completely get it. I'm like, of course you completely get it. Of course you completely get it. Not saying that you go as hard, because Cody kind of goes from 0 to 100 and then back down to 20, because at that point he's so emotionally spent, so that's why he's starting to cry. Memphitz, he felt defeated. You could tell that he genuinely felt defeated, and he felt embarrassed, and he felt hurt that he actually acted that way. So I did believe him. I'm sure some people were just like, oh, so that's the type of person that K. Michelle saw when they had that issue. I just thought of that. It's like, oh, good thing you're not with him anymore, Toy. Not saying that he would ever do something to you. It's just that clearly that's how he reacts when he's at his breaking point. Everyone reacts differently, and you don't need to be with someone who reacts that way. But again, everyone's just looking at him because they have their group sit down, and he's just like, sorry. He's crying. Toya is just like, I don't care to hear it. They're like, okay, understood, completely understood. So after that, what happened? Hold on. Oh yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. Oh yeah. They give them 10 rules to how to actually handle their anger. I'm not going to go through the 10 rules because, look, I actually kind of forgot. That was like, okay, that's great and that's all good. But they're all emotionally spent at this point. So I'm like, how are they going to actually remember this? Right now, they're just trying to soak it all in. And they'll do what they do. But I find it interesting. Do you guys think that Cody and Michelle will last? I don't know. I feel like they have overall potential, but that relationship doesn't seem stable enough. Toya and Memphitz, we already know they're not together. Tara and Dean, I don't know if they're a real couple. I don't know. They just don't give me real couple. They give me, we're friends and we date each other on and off, and it is what it is type of thing. It was cute when Lorenzo apologized to, what's her name, to British, and of course she smashed a cake in his face. But I thought it was interesting how Lisa, you know, did more of the cake smashing than British. I'm like, okay, are you trying to get out some of your playful frustrations out on someone else instead of your husband? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but we're back and it's time for the judge to go and tell everyone about themselves. So essentially what she tells about Toya and Memphitz, well, we'll start off with British and Lorenzo. For British and Lorenzo, their whole thing is Lorenzo isn't telling the truth. And so that's going to piss off British. Lorenzo also needs to stop smirking and making it seem like everything is a joke when it comes to something serious, because that hurts British's feelings and makes her feel like she's not, they're not valid, or he's not validating her feelings. And of course, he's just like, yeah, but you're going to tell her to stop hitting me? He's just like, I'm getting to that. And of course, for British, you have to figure out a way to communicate your anger more effectively instead of putting your hands on him. It's like, okay, cool. But then she wanted to make sure Lorenzo needed to tell her the truth. Now, she got on Lisa's case because she was like, Lisa, I understand that Adam's fear is irrational, but you downplay it and act as if what he's saying doesn't matter. Like, it's not valid, period. It's null and void. It's like, why are you even talking type of thing? Because Adam made a point about, you know, the car didn't have much gas in it, and he made a big deal about it. And Lisa's just like, I made it back. I had things to do. It was like, oh, well, you know, I tried to call him. It's just like, yeah, well, I was with the kids. And again, all these excuses instead of, you know, making some type of compromise. She was like, look, there are millions and millions of mothers who are able to successfully juggle a million things. So I need you to stop making excuses in general for why, when it comes to certain things that Adam really cares about, you're dismissive. We get to Tara and Dean, and essentially she was just like, you know, again, you're still running away from your issues. And Tara's like, you're right, I do run, and her confession is like, I run away from my issues because if it's something really important, I will stand up for it. If it's not, I'll be wishy-washy. They get to Toya and Memphitz, and the whole thing was, now Toya, you have to go and communicate with him a different way so that he doesn't feel like you're not validating his feelings or putting in the effort that you need to as a wife overall. But I really don't care about what I just said, because what I really get on Memphitz, your case, you cannot ever act like that to anyone. Forget it being your wife. To anyone. That is not appropriate. That is not right. Not to speak to someone in that manner. Because throughout this episode, Memphitz was also talking like, essentially, you get me my dinner, you rub my feet, you massage my shoulders. That's your role. Anything else, nah, provide sex. Anything else is null and void. That's pretty much how he was acting this whole episode. So that's why she was just like, you have some serious deep-seated issues. And Memphitz couldn't say anything because he was still crying because he was embarrassed that that happened. And I have to think that, I feel like he probably had some flashbacks of things that have happened before, and the fact that he got to that level again and is calling camera to him. Now, the last couple is, of course, Michelle and Cody. Now, essentially from Michelle and Cody, she was just like, okay, what's going on with you two? Well, we got a boot camp divorce, and so we're going to be working on themselves. So it was just like, okay, great. And she didn't really dive deep into their issues. She was just more so like, tell me about your issues. Like, we both know that we're messed up. We both equally have a lot to work on. And I was like, okay, I appreciate the fact that accountability on both sides. I would have loved to hear that also from Cody, but again, she didn't ask Cody, so whatever. Memphitz runs back upstairs, goes into his bed, and tries to hide. And he tries to apologize to Toya, and Toya is just like, because that is exactly how she should act. When someone acts a fool, you can't just go and quickly forgive them, because sometimes that makes them think that they can go and just do it again. So, that's it for today. That's it for this week. Please look at my other reviews, recaps. Please subscribe so that you never miss a thing. And make sure you come back next week.